Have you ever wondered if there are towns in the US that should come with a warning label? Places where the air, water, or even the history carries a chilling story? Not all towns in the US are postcard perfect. Some come with stories so dark or conditions so alarming they might as well have a warning label. From toxic disasters to ghostly abandonments, these towns reveal the harsh consequences of environmental neglect, economic collapse, or unsettling histories. Today we're uncovering 10 American towns with reputations that are as haunting as they are fascinating. Places you'll want to think twice about visiting. First up, we're heading to Centralia, Pennsylvania. Now, you might not find this town on many postcards, and there's a reason for that. You see, Centralia is a modern-day ghost town, a shell of its former self thanks to an inferno that's been raging beneath its surface for over half a century. I'm talking about a coal mine fire, folks. Back in 1962, a fire started in the town's underground coal mines, and it just never stopped. Imagine a blaze so deep, so persistent, that it turned the ground above into a smoldering, smoky landscape. The fire, still burning to this day, forced most residents to flee, leaving behind empty streets and houses reclaimed by nature. It's a haunting reminder of the power of nature and the lasting impact of industrial accidents. Driving through Centralia today, you'll see cracked roads billowing with smoke, warning signs of underground fires, and murals painted on abandoned buildings like echoes of a life that once was. It's both eerie and strangely beautiful, a testament to a town forever changed. Despite the danger lurking beneath, Centralia has become an unexpected tourist attraction. People come from all over to witness this modern-day Pompeii, to walk the deserted streets and catch a glimpse of the smoke rising from the earth. It's a sobering experience, walking past the remnants of houses and businesses, imagining the lives that were disrupted, the community that was fractured. It makes you think about the delicate balance between progress and its potential consequences. But amidst the desolation, there's a strange beauty to be found. Nature has slowly begun to reclaim the town, with wildflowers pushing through cracks in the pavement and trees taking root in unlikely places. It's a reminder that even in the face of destruction, life finds a way. So if you ever find yourself in Pennsylvania and you're feeling adventurous, maybe take a detour to Centralia. Just, stick to the marked paths and maybe pack a gas mask, just in case. Next, we're traveling to Peacher, Oklahoma, a town with a tragic and cautionary story. Peacher was once a booming mining town, known for its lead and zinc deposits, but this prosperity came at a steep price. Decades of mining generated massive amounts of toxic waste. This turned Peacher into one of the most toxic places in America. The soil, water, and air became contaminated with lead. The government declared Peacher a Superfund site. Residents were forced to relocate, leaving behind their homes and history. Today, Peacher stands as a stark reminder of the human cost of environmental negligence. The once bustling town is now a virtual ghost town, its streets eerily deserted, its buildings crumbling under the weight of neglect and contamination. Driving through Peacher is like stepping into a time capsule, frozen in the moment of its abandonment. You see abandoned cars rusting in driveways, toys left behind in yards, remnants of a life interrupted. It's a poignant and unsettling sight. The town's story serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of environmental responsibility and the long-lasting consequences of unchecked industrial practices. It's a reminder that our actions have consequences, not just for ourselves but for generations to come. While Peacher may be a ghost town, its legacy lives on, a stark reminder of the importance of protecting our environment and the health of our communities. From abandoned mines and toxic wastelands to Gibsonton, Florida. This town isn't abandoned or dangerous, it's uniquely eccentric. Gibsonton, once known as Gibtown, was a haven for circus performers and sideshow acts, a place for those living outside the ordinary. Imagine bumping into a bearded lady at the grocery store or seeing a giant juggling in their yard. A community embracing the unusual, Gibsonton still holds on to that quirky charm, with zoning laws for unique needs like parking trailers on property, even for a full-grown elephant. Gibsonton might not scream danger, but it'll make you do a double take. Gibsonton isn't your typical scary town, but there's an air of mystery. Maybe it's the old circus grounds or whispers of legendary performers. Gibsonton has a certain mystique. Some say the spirits never left. Legends and ghost stories are part of its fabric. the colorful history of its past residents. You might feel a shiver down your spine as you walk the streets where giants once roamed. From the whimsical streets of Gibsonton, we travel to a town grappling with a far more serious reality, Hinckley, California. This small desert town, thrust into the national spotlight by the incredible true story of Aaron Brockovich, serves as a stark reminder of the devastating impact environmental negligence can have on a community. For decades, residents of Hinckley unknowingly consumed water contaminated with hexavalent chromium, or chromium-6, a highly toxic chemical. This contamination, stemming from the operations of a nearby power plant, led to a host of health problems for the residents, ranging from skin lesions and respiratory issues to various forms of cancer. The story of Hinckley is one of corporate greed, government inaction, and the courage of everyday people who dared to stand up and fight for their right to clean water and a healthy life. It's a story that highlights the importance of environmental regulations and the need for accountability when those regulations are violated. The fight for justice in Hinckley was long and arduous, but the perseverance of Aaron Brockovich and the residents ultimately led to a landmark legal settlement against the responsible corporation. This settlement, one of the largest of its kind in history, provided much-needed compensation to those affected and funded extensive cleanup efforts. However, the legacy of chromium-6 contamination continues to cast a shadow over Hinckley. While significant progress has been made in cleaning up the groundwater, the long-term health effects on the community remain a concern. The story of Hinckley serves as a stark reminder that environmental damage can have lasting consequences long after the headlines fade and the legal battles are won. Hinckley stands as a testament to the resilience of a community facing adversity and the importance of continued vigilance in protecting our environment and public health. It's a story that reminds us that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, ordinary people can make an extraordinary difference when they band together to fight for what's right. We turn our attention now to Camden, New Jersey, a city grappling with a different kind of struggle, one rooted in deep-seated socio-economic challenges. Once a thriving industrial center, Camden has, for decades, been plagued by poverty, crime, and a sense of hopelessness that can be difficult to overcome. The decline of Camden's industrial base, coupled with systemic issues like racial inequality and lack of opportunity, has created a cycle of hardship that's proven difficult to break. Many residents struggle to make ends meet, and the city's streets are often perceived as unsafe, further perpetuating the cycle of poverty and despair. Despite these challenges, there's a resilient spirit in Camden, a flicker of hope that refuses to be extinguished. Community organizations and dedicated individuals are working tirelessly to create a brighter future for the city and its residents. Efforts to revitalize Camden are ongoing, focusing on job creation education. Camden is shedding its negative image as resilience and hope take root. Small businesses are revitalizing neighborhoods, educational programs offer new opportunities, and community leaders are fostering unity. While challenges remain, Camden's transformation shows the power of hope and investment in rebuilding communities. All right, folks, we're heading to the Midwest for this one, East St. Louis, Illinois. Now, this city has seen its share of struggles. We're talking about a place that was once a bustling industrial hub, a place full of promise and opportunity. But over time, things took a turn. Industries began to close down, jobs disappeared, and the city started to empty out. It's a story we've heard before, sadly, but that doesn't make it any less heartbreaking, you know? And the weight of those lost opportunities, it really hangs heavy over East St. Louis. But here's the thing about East St. Louis, even with the economic hardships, even with the factories standing silent, there's a resilience there. A spirit in the people who remain determined to build a brighter future. And that's what I want to focus on, because that's the real story of East St. Louis. It's not just about the challenges, it's about the people who are facing them head-on, who haven't given up hope. Sadly, the economic decline isn't the only issue facing East St. Louis. The city has also been grappling with the legacy of industrial pollution. We're talking about a history of factories and plants that frankly weren't always the best neighbors. And those industries, they left their mark on the environment. Air quality, water quality, these are real concerns for the people of East St. Louis. And it's a stark reminder that environmental justice, it's not just some abstract concept, it's about real people's lives. But even in the face of these challenges, there's a glimmer of hope. Community groups, activists, they're fighting every day to clean up East St. Louis, to make it a healthier place for everyone. They're organizing, they're raising awareness, they're holding polluters accountable. It's a long and difficult road, but these folks, they're making a difference. They're showing the world that East St. Louis is not defined by its past, that it's a city fighting for its future. Okay, let's talk about Gary, Indiana. Now, Gary has a special place in American history. This was a city built on steel, a symbol of American industry and might. For decades, Gary thrived, providing jobs and opportunities for countless families. But as we know, the steel industry went through some tough times, and those tough times hit Gary particularly hard. Factories closed, jobs disappeared, and the city's population, it plummeted. It's a story that's sadly familiar in many parts of the Rust Belt. Driving through Gary today, you see the remnants of that decline. Abandoned factories, empty houses, a stark reminder of the challenges facing this once booming city. It can feel, well, a little bit like a ghost town at times. But here's the thing about Gary, even amidst the struggles, there's a spirit of resilience there. There are people who never gave up on their city, who are working tirelessly to bring it back. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, Gary has a long road ahead. Rebuilding a city takes time, it takes resources, and it takes a whole lot of heart. But there are signs of hope emerging from the ruins. Community organizations are working to revitalize neighborhoods, to bring back businesses, and to create new opportunities for Gary's residents. They're planting gardens, they're opening art studios, they're breathing life back into the city. And what's really inspiring is the younger generation, they're stepping up. They see the potential in Gary, they're full of ideas, and they're determined to make a difference. They're starting businesses, they're organizing events, they're bringing a fresh perspective to the city's challenges. Gary's story is far from over. It's a story of loss, yes, but it's also a story of resilience, of community, and of hope. And that, my friends, is something worth rooting for. All right, we're heading to Flint, Michigan. Now, this is a story that, frankly, should make you angry. In 2014, Flint switched its water source in a cost-cutting move. And that decision, well, it had devastating consequences. The water, it was contaminated with lead. Lead, a potent neurotoxin that can cause serious health problems, especially in children. And the worst part is, it was entirely preventable. This wasn't a natural disaster, it was a man-made crisis. The images coming out of Flint were heartbreaking. Families lining up for bottled water, children suffering from lead poisoning, a community betrayed by its own government. It was a stark reminder that even in the United States, access to clean water is not a guarantee. And the thing is, the crisis in Flint didn't just happen overnight. There were warning signs, there were people who spoke up, but their concerns were ignored. And that's a tragedy in itself. Now, years after the initial crisis, Flint is still on the road to recovery. The city has made progress in replacing lead pipes, but the damage done to the community's trust, to the health of its residents, that's going to take a long time to heal. But even in the face of this unimaginable crisis, the people of Flint have shown incredible resilience. They came together to support each other, to demand accountability, and to fight for a better future. And this isn't just about Flint. The water crisis there, it's shown a light on a much larger issue in our country's aging infrastructure and the threat it poses to public health. It's a wake-up call that we can't ignore. The story of Flint is a reminder that we need to do better. We need to invest in our communities, we need to listen to the voices of those who are most affected, and we need to prioritize public health over short-term profits. We're moving on to Nevada, a state known for its desert landscapes and, well, let's just say, lively cities. But today we're visiting a town with a much different vibe, Tonopah. Now, Tonopah was once a booming mining town. We're talking early 1900s, silver rush, the whole 9 yards. People flocked here with dreams of striking it rich, and for a while Tonopah was the place to be. But as with many mining towns, when the silver ran dry, so did the town's fortunes. Today, Tonopah stands as a stark reminder of the boom and bust cycles that have shaped so much of the American West. It's a place where the echoes of the past feel incredibly present. Walking through the streets of Tonopah today, you can't help but feel like you've stepped back in time. Many of the buildings date back to the early 20th century, and while some have been beautifully preserved, others stand empty, whispering tales of their former glory. And maybe, just maybe, some of those whispers aren't metaphorical. Tonopah has gained a reputation as one of the most haunted towns in Nevada. People have reported all sorts of strange occurrences, from unexplained noises to full-on ghost sightings, particularly in the historic Mizpah Hotel. Now, I'm not saying I believe in ghosts, but I'm not saying I don't believe either. But there's definitely an undeniable energy to Tonopah. A feeling that you're walking through a place where the past isn't quite ready to let go. So if you're ever in Nevada and looking for a unique, slightly spooky, and undeniably fascinating experience, take a detour to Tonopah. Just saying, you might want to bring a flashlight and maybe a ghost hunting kit, just to be safe. From the deserts of Nevada, we travel north to the mountains of Montana, a state known for its breathtaking beauty and rugged landscapes. And nestled among those mountains is the town of Libby, a place that, unfortunately, carries a heavy burden. You see, Libby was once a company town, built around a vermiculite mine that provided jobs and a sense of community for generations. But what residents didn't know was that the vermiculite was contaminated with asbestos, a naturally occurring mineral that, when inhaled, can cause severe health problems, including a rare and aggressive form of lung cancer. For decades, the mine operated, releasing asbestos fibers into the air, unknowingly poisoning the very people it employed and their families. The consequences were devastating. The health crisis in Libby didn't fully come to light until the late 1990s. By then, hundreds of people had become sick, and many had tragically lost their lives. The Environmental Protection Agency stepped in, declaring it the largest Superfund cleanup site in U.S. history. The story of Libby is a stark reminder of the human cost of environmental negligence and the importance of worker safety. It's a story that's both heartbreaking and infuriating. But amidst the tragedy, there's also a story of resilience. The people of Libby have shown incredible strength in the face of adversity, fighting for justice, demanding accountability, and working tirelessly to heal their community. Their story is a testament to the power of the human spirit, even in the face of unimaginable hardship. Well, we've traveled across the country visiting 10 towns that each carry their own unique story, their own set of challenges, and their own reasons to approach with caution. From the smoldering ground of Centralia to the quiet streets of Libby, these towns serve as stark reminders of the complex relationship between human activity and its consequences. Each of these towns tells a unique, often haunting story about the intersection of human activity and environmental or social fallout. They stand as cautionary tales urging us to learn from the past, prioritize safety and sustainability, and strive to create communities that are safe, healthy, and prosperous for all. And as we've seen, even in the face of adversity, the human spirit has a remarkable ability to adapt, overcome, and rebuild. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss our next video.